All right, we'll call the Ways and Means Committee hearing to order. If you would please do a roll call.
Alderwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard.
Present.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Present.
And Chairman Vollmer.
Present.
7 present, you have quorum.
Mr.
Good morning, yes. Alderman Rhodey, you have 2 bills. We'll start with Board Bill 17.
Yes, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, excuse me.
And thanks for the promotion.
And thanks to all the committee members for coming down on such short notice. The 2 board bills today are related. It's for a special taxing district that's we call Central West End Southeast, which is roughly from Newstead to Vandevener and Forest Park to Lindell. And we actually passed legislation that would have put this on the ballot to approve it. So those of you who aren't familiar with special taxing districts, these are ways of a portion of the city to go ahead and increase their taxes. That gives them a pool of money to work with to go ahead and do additional security or infrastructure beautification and so forth. It's almost like creating a homeowners association. So if you're moving into a new subdivision in the suburbs, you would have a homeowners association and everybody would pay into that, and then that would help keep kind of the common area up. So this is a technique that's been used and have been available for us since before I was an alderman. So we have several of these throughout our ward. They come up from time to time. In other words, there's usually a sunset on them, and when they sunset, they have to be put back on the ballot again to renew. We actually passed legislation last session that would have created the opportunity to do that for the specific geographic area that we're talking about. There's been a special taxing district in that general area. The boundaries has changed a little bit, but for probably over 20 years. Unfortunately, I guess there was a miscommunication on the timing. There was a change of state law, and the election board did not know that, so that when we abided by the schedule they set out for us, it ended up being that it wasn't the appropriate schedule that the state had set out. So we missed the April election, and what this will do is create the district. One of the bills creates the district. The first of the bills creates the district, and the second of the bill actually creates the opportunity to vote on it or establishes the election. And so I guess that's it. The election will be held in August. It'll be a special election, which is less than ideal, but would have been preferred to have it in April, but that is what it is. So.
All right. We have some folks signed up. Does anyone have? We'll just continue to the people who want to speak, then we'll take questions later. Dave Sweeney, speaking for others.
Just here if there's any questions that come forward as far as process or anything else.
All right. Also, we have Jeff Miner. Again, in favor of this.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity to speak. So I've lived in the district, this special business district, since 1996, sorry. That's when it was first instituted with the vote of myself and my neighbors in the district, and it was reauthorized in 1999. The first 3 years worked well, so we voted again, and we voted again in 2009, I believe, and now 2019. And it's been good for the neighborhood, I think, and we've increased security, we've increased lighting in the district, and we want to continue to do that over the next 10 years. And I'm a commissioner on the Special Business District Board, I guess, and I'm the treasurer, and there's a lot of enthusiasm amongst my neighbors for doing this again, and I'm hoping they'll come out to vote for it and that you'll approve this. Thanks. Any questions?
All right, we'll go through and see if anyone has any questions. Alderman Davis, any questions of the sponsor or any of the speakers?
No.
Okay. Alderman Vaccaro, any questions?
I do. Joe, just a couple real quick questions. Nothing, I mean, I'm supportive of this. So on the special election, who pays for that?
The special election, does the district pay for it now?
No, I spoke with this Board of Elections, and it's only going to be 2 special polling places, and the
Right.
cost would be minimus, according to them,
Minimus is how much?
under $10,000, $5,000,
And that just comes out of
their budget.
their budget,
When-
which,
In speaking with them, yeah.
okay.
But I offered, and I'm continue to talk with them about that.
No, it was more of a curious
No, no,
question,
no.
because in case I ever did anything like this where,
Yeah.
and I realize it's a very limited area,
Yeah,
it's not
it'll be- like I
citywide,
said,
but,
there'll be 2 specific polling places, probably 6 workers.
okay. It was more curious in case I ever did something like that, but thank you.
Yeah, no further questions? All right. Alderman Howard, any questions?
I guess my question is this serves this business district serves all the residents? It's not just the,
Yeah, there's a bit of a misnomer. They call it special business district, but however, it's actually, the tax is assessed to all property, commercial and residential. And in this case, many of the services are targeted actually for residents as well. So I think
rather than the
it's
business
somewhat of
area?
a misnomer,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and there is no, this is strictly a property tax that everyone in the district, or the majority of the district has agreed to?
Yeah, it would be a property tax, 0.85 per
85
hundred
cents on per $100, yeah.
dollar of assessed value, which equates to approximately a little over $100 for a $100,000 home, I guess. And is that about right, I think? Last time I did that calculation.
About
It's been a couple of
$100
years.
per $100,000, yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than that, 120 maybe. I think the real estate tax rates have gone up a little. Well, actually, that shouldn't, yeah, no, it should be about 100 per.
And through this extra money, you provides, the homeowners association, for lack of a better, the special business district provides security, cleaning, possibly other amenities.
Right, we have a
that-
board, I think, of 6 or 7 people that oversee it. So the money's collected, set aside, and then that board submits a budget every year. We approve the members of the board. We submit
Right, we
names to
submit
the
it to
mayor.
the
The
mayor
mayor then
and-
submits them back to us.
Okay.
We approve them over at the board, and then they oversee it. And, we have, it's all set out in ordinance, but we have several of these. They typically, security is a high percentage of what they're spending the money on. A lot of that we've used, we've kind of done, we've taken some of the money and done the pedestrian level lighting. That's
Right.
part of our strategy for that neighborhood, was to create a really pedestrian-oriented environment. And so we have so much density that by going ahead and creating the pedestrian level lighting, that creates a much safer
Lit
environment
walkway,
to
yeah.
walk, or, more walkable environment. So we do a lot of that. We've done, we have several of these that we've kind of hooked together, and they share overhead in the expense for hiring off-duty security officers. So, and then sometimes we set aside a little bit of money for maybe beautification efforts and stuff like that to help maintain the cul-de-sacs, or have a little extra money available to do plantings.
Gussy
and-
up the place.
Yeah, right. Frankly, very similar types of things that you might have with a homeowners association. In recent years, I don't know if we've done it with this one, but we've done it with others. Parking has become a real issue in that part of town because of the success of Cortex and the medical center. We're seeing tremendous numbers of people coming into the area. We've been able to go ahead and create parking districts, and several of these have picked up the modest cost. It's like $10 a head or something like that for a parking medallion to hang in your window for a year. And so some of them have included that as part of their approved
Fee.
expenditure or whatever, so.
Well, that's a good idea, and I think probably as long as the residents all agree upon it, it sounds like a real good way to bring the community together for a common goal.
And it actually has created opportunities for us to do kind of leveraging where, we kind of have contests, and, if something's important to them, we might be able to leverage some money that the city has through, not above and beyond what we have, but like our streets,
matching
our
funds and
St. Louis Works money and stuff like that. Or sometimes we've even had some success with outside sources,
Great Streets and
philanthropic
such.
groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Great Streets is a good example, so.
Okay, well, thank you. Sounds really good. Now, and there is no sales tax associated with it?
Not on this piece of legislation, no.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Alderwoman Murphy, any questions?
No questions, asked and answered, thank you.
All right, Alderwoman Boyd?
The only question, the one question I have, when you brought up security, Alderman Rhodey, are you all using for lease, or you using security guards?
We've had that debate within the neighborhood over the years. Currently, we're using off-duty police officers that we hire through a group called St. Louis Finest. City's Finest.
City's finest?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's the security group, but they, in essence, hire off-duty police officers then. So everybody who's patrolling the streets. And the big issue has been, is liability. When you have professionally trained police officers that are duly licensed and everything, that creates a great deal. If you're going to turn people like that loose on the streets with guns, you want to make sure that you have your liability, and that's probably been the biggest concern. Obviously, they're far more expensive than what security guards would be, but security guards conceivably would be a solution. I think there'd be some resistance, I don't want to speak for the commissioners, but some reluctance to put security guards with guns on the street patrolling public areas, because that would be, if there's ever an incident or anything, it would be tremendous liability for them to have that happen, so.
I think it's I think it's both of them are good, and I'm like Alderwoman Howard. It kind of helps me to educate me on how I could do it, and the other part that I like about it is the residents, they benefit from it in that square, so that's a good thing.
Alderman, one of the things I really think is even if it's not a lot of money or enough money to solve all the problems, what it does is it creates a forum where you get a group of residents together on a regular basis, because part of the state statute requires that they actually have meetings and they create budgets and all this stuff. And that's, in fairness, that's one of the things that State Auditor Gallup came in to audit us about, was to make sure that all that stuff is happening. So there are some procedural things that need to be put in place, but it creates a discipline where, if done right, you get a group of residents together, even though it's not a huge amount of money, it's some money, and they have to go through the process of thinking about what's the most important, what thing in our community will make the biggest difference.
Okay.
And what's our biggest concern? Is it, for some neighborhoods, it might be security. For other neighborhoods, it might be infrastructure or beautification. So it forces them to begin thinking about that and prioritizing it and meeting regularly. And it gives them a sense that they're at least doing something.
Yeah, thank you.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, having sat through this one, you first did it back in December. I have no questions. I'm sorry you missed the cutoff date. But with that, I would ask you to close.
No other questions. I would request that favorable consideration for Board Bill number, 17 is the first one here.
Okay.
I make a motion
And I'll second that motion.
for due pass recommendation for Board Bill 17.
All right, Rita, please.
Alderwoman Davis.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderman Vollmer.
Aye.
That's 7 aye votes.
All right, so on that, we pass this out with a due pass recommendation, and we will move on to Board Bill number 20. Alderman Rhodey, you're on.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Board Bill number 20 is the one that actually, I think, puts it on the ballot, and I would request your favorable consideration for it.
Okay. Do I have any questions from anyone here
No.
in regard to this? Okay with that?
So I'll make a motion, we pass
Motion?
Board Bill.
Second.
Favor previous roll?
Previous roll.
Okay. Hearing that, we have passed out Board Bill number 20 with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, everybody, for coming
Thank
down on
you.
such short notice.
Okay,
We
according
appreciate
to our wonderful agenda here, resolutions for review, we have none. Board bills held in committee, we have none. We have no announcements, because I'm saying there are no announcements. We will be adjourning. Thank you.